Hey everybody, I just wanted to take a quick second to talk about the issues surrounding the announcement of the new Assassin's Creed game, Assassin's Creed Shadows. Um, the game's trailer was released fairly recently, and a lot of people are, rightfully upset about a lot of the elements surrounding the game. Not just that the protagonist they decided to go with is black, but a whole slew of other issues that have made this release just absolutely catastrophic for Ubisoft. Um, so before this video starts, and I, start talking about these things, I think it's important to understand, right, that people are not upset because the character is black. Okay, that is a problem, and it's something I'll go into, later in this video. But that's not why people are upset. People are upset because the character is black in a time period where it does not make sense for the protagonist to be black, and people are upset because of the reason that Ubisoft decided the for the character to be black and just the way that they're selling this. That's the problem. There's nothing wrong with black protagonists, okay? Like we've seen, very successful films with black protagonists, right? Black Panther, very successful film, very high ratings, right? Creed, same thing, right? Successful film. Coach from Left 4 Dead, also very recognizable, black character. And I mean, I could go on and on, okay? But the point is that before people try to come out and say, oh, like, the only people upset about this are the, like, all the like, straight, like, white male, like, racist gamers, like, that's not true. There are all kinds of people upset about this, black people included. Like, there anyone who is an actual fan of the franchise or just has been playing games for a long time is rightfully upset about this. Okay, so no, this has nothing to do with any sort of like racial like bias or like fucking like bigotry, any of that. Okay, it has nothing to do with any of that. Okay, people are using that to deflect from the actual fucking issue. Okay, so it has nothing to do with that. So first thing I want to talk about, yes, the main character is black, which is, a huge problem considering that they definitely should have gone with a Japanese protagonist. Okay, um, they quite literally looked for any sort of black main character they could possibly use. All right, because in feudal Japan, let me tell, there were not many black people in feudal Japan. Okay, and the way that they're marketing this is just extremely deceptive. You can see here, live the intertwined stories of Nao, an adept shinobi assassin from Iga province, and Yasuke, the powerful African samurai of historical legend. So they have referred to Yasuke as a samurai here, and they refer to Yasuke as a samurai here, right? The problem with this, okay, is that Yasuke very clearly was not a samurai. He was a servant and retainer who served Oda Nobunaga, and so he was not a samurai at all. And they are marketing this character as a samurai even though he was never even a samurai. And that, is really upsetting because, the least they could have done is chosen, a character that, was an actual samurai. And mind you, this is the first time in Assassin's Creed history that they have decided to go with a main character based on a real person, okay? And there's a reason that they did that. Because if they did not do that, okay, and they chose and they made up a fictional black character in this game, that would just give people even more reason to be upset because a black man in Japan during this time period makes zero sense. So they literally searched for any black person they could in Japan during this time period, and the best they could find was Yasuke, who was not even an actual samurai. And that is just it's extremely deceptive, and a lot of the reason people are upset. Um, the next thing I want to talk about is just the development and the people involved in this game. This is the lead writer for Assassin's Creed Shadows. She has since gone private, as I imagine she has received a lot of hate. Rightfully so, because white woman. First off, if there's anything that these like woke like media activists should be upset about, it's that a white woman is the lead writer on a game about Japan. Like, if there's anything people should be upset about, that's what it should be. Now, because she has gone private, you can't go to her following anymore. Luckily, great YouTuber, Rev Says Des over here, and he still has the screenshot from his video. If you want to hear more about this, you should definitely check out Rev's video. There's a lot more Twitter screenshots, and he puts together a really good, not even argument. It's really just a display of facts. But as you can see, unsurprisingly, this person, as you can see, username matches, is following Sweet Baby Inc. Now that's really all you would need to see, right? I mean, this is already incriminating enough that the lead writer of the game is following, not swallowing. She probably is swallowing them, honestly. I mean, okay. Anyway, that this person is following Sweet Baby Inc. And Sweet Baby Inc., as I'm sure most of is a woke consulting firm that is responsible for ruining a wide variety of games by just forcefully inserting this kind of like woke like propaganda and pandering to these kind of people, right? Um, and the reason they do this, which is incredibly it's just scummy, is that there's these things called the ESG and the DEI, right? And basically these two things, these big companies like BlackRock basically score these games and media depending on basically how much woke bullshit is in them, and the higher score you get means more investors, and that's why they do this. Um, what is this? There's a five for fraud. You know what? Yeah, I'm not even here to talk about this, but I'm not fucking surprised. These are the kind of people involved with this sort of thing. Um, but yeah, that's why these companies do this is basically just to get more investment money. Anyway, if we go to Sweet Baby's actual site, you can see that Ubisoft is one of their clients right there. Ubisoft. So it's not unlikely that Assassin's Creed Shadows is being also worked on by Sweet Baby Inc., which will effectively kill the game, which is extremely disappointing because ever since Assassin's Creed Inception, uh, people have been asking, we really want a game set in Japan, and we finally get a game set in Japan, and it's just filled to the brim with all this pandering and essentially propaganda that has just completely killed the game. I also want to talk about something very interesting, that the Japanese expert, that Ubisoft has hired to work in this game, and this isn't a joke. This is serious. This person is an expert in investigating gender, sexuality, corporeality, and power represented in pre-17th century Japanese narratives and illustrations. And her first book, Tales of Idolized Boys, Male-Male Love in Medieval Japanese Narratives, University of Hawaii is on medieval Chigo Monogatari, Buddhist acolyte tales, which often depict romantic relationships between Buddhist priests and adolescent boys. These tales challenge a host of normative and moral standards. We academics especially internalize, including such ideas as sexual orientation, transgenerational sex, and sexual agency. I kid you not, the Japanese expert they hired is an expert in 17th century yaoi. Like, that's not a joke. This is the expert they hired. So you can see the team working behind this game is an absolute joke. Like, the team working behind it is just a complete and utter joke, right? Um, so what can we do, right? Uh, when this game gets released, it is 100% going to be added to the Sweet Baby Inc. detected Steam list, and any game that goes on this list is basically dead. Um, right now, this list is at about 400,000 followers. Um, but by the time this game releases, I imagine this list will be at about 1 million people. So when this game comes out, it's gonna flop, and it's gonna flop big. Just because Sweet Baby is involved in it. So essentially, this game is they completely ruined it, right? By just inserting this kind of pandering into the game. Uh, the character is not black because he was, a recognizable historical figure like Nobuuga. He is black because they are purposely trying to appeal to the kind of people that would, be in support of this. Um, so yeah, that's basically all I have to say on this. They should not have made the character black. There's no reason for the character to be black other than what I've already said. To, to pander to these people, and that is the reason people are so upset. Again, right? This has literally nothing to do with the fact that he's black. All right, it has to do with why the character is black and how it makes absolutely zero sense for a black protagonist to be in this game. So yeah, that's all I have to say on it. Again, watch Rev's video. He goes into more detail on some of the topics I talked about here. Um, but yeah, that's all I have to say. Peace.